Okay. So conduct market research today. Conduct ongoing research of the market, current competition, company imperatives, recent trends, merging capabilities that will provide competitive advantage. So the first thing, we covered this yesterday a little. Business intelligence refers to the procedural and technical infrastructure that collects, stores, analyzes the data produced by a company's activities. So it's all the rage now to have these dashboards that are custom made for you. A lot of companies will do this kind of thing for you, but what they're mostly doing, and they're calling it business intelligence, is using artificial intelligence to kind of and bots to go scan the internet for particular news on particular companies, which is okay, but it's really expensive and it's already happened. So, how much good does it do you? But business intelligence is a broad term. It's data mining, process analysis, performance benchmarking, and descriptive analytics. It can provide a historical reference and a predictive analysis. So if you get really good at it, things happen in the industry and you get some good predictions about what will happen next, much like the SCP model that we learned about in MCE. So business intelligence parses all the data generated by a business and presents reports, performance measures, trends. I mean, in theory, that's how it works. I would be surprised if any companies have really, maybe a company like Visa that's really, computer savvy, but industrial trucking companies, not so much. Although we'll get there someday, probably. Best practices, quality data, ensure data is clean. Always a problem with these big ERP systems. Data is usually a mess and needs a lot of cleanup. Business unit involvement. Functional units need to be involved in the design of the environment and reporting functions. Proof of concepts, rapid prototyping. You got to work with IT to get some stuff up and running on it quickly. Integrations align with supplier performance management and organizational objectives. And standard analysis, you need metrics and KPIs consistent across functions. So publications is another area you can figure out what's going on with the industry. So it used to be magazines and periodicals. Most of this stuff is online these days, same with newspapers. But they can be, again, it's stuff that's already happened, but you might be able to get some trends from it. Other publications are, this is ISM's monthly magazine. If you're a member, you get this electronically. This is another monthly magazine from Apix, I think. Industry-specific publications, automotive news, plastics news. They have a few for trucking. Regional publications like the Business Sound or Puget Sound Business Journal. And then strategy research, review of the organization's strategy. For us, this is more commodity strategy than corporate strategy. So benchmark against competitors, determine how to differentiate. Brennan might do this for the purchasing department. Respond to any trends or developments in the market. Do we want to split the purchasing department into a strategic and a tactical group? Goal-oriented business intelligence systems, create goals and define KPIs, and add new KPIs as necessary. Then look at cause and effect relationships and business intelligence sources to connect the KPIs. And then decision option diagrams. This is all about this dashboard that people are trying to move towards. An additional supply management strategy framework includes industry framework. So interaction of all the relevant players. If we had all the time in the world, we would write these things up and we would use a Porter's or an SCP model to kind of talk about each of the industries in general and how they compete and how monopolistic they are. Demand variation, market mediation costs, markdowns, lost sales, product life cycle, relevance of cost of assets to total cost, kind of thing. Unique value propositions, organizations, competitive positioning, and you can do this with a SWOT for each of the companies in the industry. And managerial focus, aligning organization's positioning and internal processes and mechanisms for proper connection internally. But it's all kind of documenting, and these are the kind of things you obviously have to update on a regular basis. So you use it like a SCP model and a 5 forces for the industry, and then you do a SWOT report on each of the members of the industry. Some of the more prevalent supply management strategies: engagement by corporate executives, vision, mission, and strategic plan. A lot of companies are into this. PACCAR, we don't do it so much. Commodity and supplier strategy processes, strategic cost management, procurement and supply organization structure, human resource development, TCO, we use quite a bit. Structuring and maintaining the supply base. We actually do this quite a bit, but not in such a formal manner. Measurement and evaluation, establishing world-class supplier quality. HAP, so the Center for Advanced Purchasing Studies, which is a joint venture between ISM and the University of Arizona at Phoenix, formed the Carey School of Business at Arizona State. Okay, membership based on organization, offers timely, unbiased industry benchmarks, and provides written research reports. It does all this, and it does some interesting stuff, but it costs a fortune. To be a member, it's like 25 or 30 grand. It's based on business size, but PACCAR's big enough, they're going to charge a lot. And it's like, I just don't know if you're getting that kind of value out of it. Social media, becoming ever more important for business analysis, possibilities to obtain insights from news feeds and online forums, communicate with other supply management professionals on things like LinkedIn, can be used to predict behaviors by monitoring discussions or chatter on the industries or suppliers. So a lot of these companies that are trying to sell you dashboards and AI stuff, this is what they're looking at. And I think it has kind of today some dubious value, certainly not worth $500,000 a year. Social network analysis looks at how relationships among stakeholders in a social network form social structure. Node level and network level metrics, a degree of centrality, direct ties an actor has with others, in degree centrality, the number of direct ties from the other actors to the focal actor, out degree of centrality, closeness centrality. This is all kind of like documenting a murder board. Same kind of deal. Some network level metrics include things like network density and network centralization, network complexity. And then there's conferences and trade shows. So ISM has a conference. There's other trade shows for the trucking industry. There's one in Louisville every year. I think there's one in Atlanta every other year these days. ISM's annual conference is in May, late April. So Gartner, which is an industry that generates industry reports for a fee. They have summits, ProMat, Supply Chain Solutions. I think these guys want to sell you their software. Same with SAP. They have summits and things, but they're mostly there to sell you their software. Several types of third-party consultants and think tanks, Gartner and Forrester, that you can pay these guys and they'll do research reports for you. And commercial research firms like Standards & Poor's or Value Line will do custom research for free. These are stock market guys, but you can pay them to do custom research. Peer networking, conferences and trade shows. And if you tell the attorneys you're doing this, they freak out. They don't like us talking to our competition. But, you run into them every once in a while. Other commodity managers at Freightliner and Volvo and places like that. Suppliers can be a valuable source of information. on market trends, especially new product ideas. Suppliers have a lot of good ideas there. All right. So James Fox is commodity manager for Acme, and James Boss asked him to create a commodity strategy for his copper purchases. This will first require a business intelligence system. How will we go about creating a business intelligence system for copper?
B.
Yeah, but we never have money for that kind of thing.
I
So,
think A
A?
or B. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's C. I think they're going to want you to go. We don't have money for this,
Oh.
but we have money to go build our own software.
Create goals for the information. You're right, that was a step.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is, it's not really consistent logic, but I think that's where they're headed.
It's kind of, and I guess the question is, how is he going to create the system? Not how is he going to get the business intelligence?
Yeah. Yeah. How does he requires a business intelligence system? How will he go out creating the system? Yeah. So see what else I got here. Sharon is a category manager for a large corporation. Her new assignment is to manage the packaging buy for the corporation. And she's trying to learn how all the relevant players interact in the marketplace. What would be the best information she could find?
B.
What do you guys think?
I'm locking in A or B again.
I'm thinking C, because it starts talking about how that's what Porter's does. It's all about how the industry interacts. Any other guesses?
Well, we've guessed 3 of the 4 options, so.
Yeah, so it's probably D, but let's go take a look. This is it. C, because a Porter's 5 Forces report covers the structure of the industry in addition to how the industry players compete with one another. That's your classic Michael Porter thing. Okay, there's 7 questions out there, so go ahead and start working on them and raise your hand when you get done. Otherwise, the latest we'll go over the answers at 3:55, but you guys will finish before that, I'm sure. Okay, let's go over some answers here. Number 1 is Bravo, because it is the most practical means of obtaining feedback quickly from actual customers in a variety of environments. Social media research.
I think all of these are illegal.
Probably. Yeah, ISM kind of skips over that part every once in a while.
Collusion and antitrust and
Yeah,
sharing confidential information.
Yeah, if the attorneys read these questions, they probably freak out. 2 is Alpha, which is market intelligence process and the results of gathering and analyzing information. 3 is Bravo. Google. So this is one of the ones where you look at all of them and you see that Google is not a financial website where the other 3 are. So it's the odd man out, and that's the answer.
But that's also incorrect because it doesn't say anything about needing it to be about finances. That's specifically why I picked Moody's, because Moody's is solely a financial rating organization. It has nothing to do with consulting services.
What does the question say? It says RFP for consulting service development of a new website, which is least likely to assist the manager. So this is an opinion-based question. But I mean, you're looking at the question, all 3 of these are to some degree or another financial websites. This one is much more broad, so it doesn't really fit with the others, and that's kind of how you work those questions.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Where are we at? That was B. 4 is Alpha. Cost of nickel. This happens a lot. And when I was a commodity manager, cost of nickel, which represents approximately half of the total cost of the exhaust system, has risen 33%. Thus, company A can consider a price increase comparable to 1/2 the product cost, or 0.5 times 0.33, which is 16.5, not 25% or whatever the hell it was the supplier was asking. 5 is Delta. Logistical concerns are typically subtopics of a broader issues in procurement. Yes and no. I mean, another kind of opinion-based question. 6 is also Delta. A business system using performance measures will draw data from a number of sources and convert it into a usable dashboard in theory. And you can see what all the copper pricing is. But, does it really work that way? I know Angelica doesn't have that tool. And 7 is Alpha. Porter's 5 forces analysis looks at the industry, how it's structured, and how the players compete with one another. And the SCP analysis will also do that, but that's not as widely well known as ISM doesn't really recognize SCP analysis. All right. Tomorrow we can do some more questions.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Rick.
Yeah. Bye.